Welcome back to Breakfast with Bob. We are ignited by Athlinks. My name is Bob Babbitt, and we are at the Blueprint for Athletes Leadville 100 Mountain Bike Classic. And we have a number of champions here. We've got Sally with us. We have Sally Bingham, who has won this race 2 times, going for her 3rd win in a row. Talk a little bit about how it is coming in here as defending champion and going for 3 in a row.
Oh, I think to do 1 Leadville is a challenge. To do 2 is really crazy, and to do 3 maybe is we'll see. I think with Leadville the thing is it's really unknown. It's so long, it's such a demanding course, and you're not really sure what's going to happen and how the race is going to unfold. Hopefully we'll have good luck and things will go well.
I love it. And next is Alban Lakata, also 2-time champion, 2012, 2013, course record holder 6:04:01. Alban, talk a little bit about last year's race. And I know we get your 2-time champion in 6:04, but last year you flatted early, and then you pretty much chased the rest of the way. But it turned out to be a classic race up front. Were you able to know what was happening in front of you?
Yeah, sure, because of the turnaround, you see the guys coming towards you. So you know how far you are back, or you can estimate it, how far you are back. But the puncture costed a lot of time. I had to replace the tube. And in the end, I was, maybe the chase back was too hard, and I struggled after Columbine. I struggled with my power or with my, And mentally also, I was a little bit broken after that, because my goal at the last year was also to break my own record and go sub 6 hours. So in the end, this dream exploded there with the tire. In the end, we have another year. We try it again, and I'm actually better prepared than last year.
Better prepared. You think that 6-hour barrier is something that can go down?
If the conditions are good, and I think the competition this year is even better, like the riders.
Yes.
It's a strong field, and that helps a lot. We have a bigger group, maybe also on the way back, having maybe when you have headwind, it's very good to have a group and maybe get some rest when you are in the slipstream. So I think it will work out if the conditions are not extreme against us. So I think I'm positive about that.
So tell me a little bit about the guy sitting next to you, Kristian Hynek. How good is he?
Yeah, I actually saw in the Break Epic just not even a week ago. It's just a few days ago.
Yeah,
he's very strong. He's good acclimatized with the altitude, and he's my teammate. I'm racing with him. I did Transalp not long ago and did the Cape Epic with him, and he always gives me a hard time. So I think it will be something about between us and maybe Specialized, the guys like Todd Wells, Christoph Sauser. But if the win stays in the team, then it's a win-win situation for all of us. I think it would be good. But for me, actually, I've won it 2 times, and I think I want to win it another time. But it's something that came up with. I came up with that idea that beating my own record and doing sub 6 hours, so that means 4 minutes faster.
Yes.
So we will see. But as I said earlier, a strong competition helps for sure.
When you look at this course and other races you do, how is this race different than other races, other long races you do? Obviously, the altitude from 10,000 to 12,000 and back down. But is it... people talk about you start on the roads and you're going 35 miles an hour downhill and it's freezing and then you're climbing. And talk a bit about how this race is different than other races.
Yeah, it's totally different to all the other races I usually do in Europe. It's an early start. It starts from there.
Yeah.
It's a cold start.
Mountain bikes are usually, you guys usually race later in the day, right? You're like, I remember the mountain bike races a lot of times.
Marathons usually start quite early, but maybe let's say 8 or 9 o'clock. But,
something sensible.
But 6:30 is like unhuman. But for us, but it's one-day race, so it's okay. I think we can handle that. And as I said, it's cold and it's a downhill start. This is also something like weird.
Yes.
And then we get to the first climb, and you are actually freezing. Sometimes I had goosebumps down there.
Yes.
Because it's 0 degrees. Yeah, and so on. And then in the end, you finish the race with like hot temperature usually, and it's also very bright. So I mean, the light is like so strong.
Yeah.
And your eyes are like, after 6 or 6.5 hours riding, you get really mentally tired because of the sun.
The squinting.
There's so
Even
many-
in with sunglasses.
I wear sunglasses, but the thing is, like in the morning, it's quite dark, and you have to wear like sunglasses. They are a little bit not
Yes.
so dark to see the stones, to see the obstacles on the trails or on the track. There are not so many trails there. But and then in the end, I'm thinking to change maybe my eyewear to get like this little more, I don't know.
A little darker lens later.
Darker lens to have
Love it.
this. Yeah.
So Kristian, let's chat with you a little bit. Last year was your first time here. Talk a little bit about what you learned from last year, because there was a point there, I think you had a 5-minute lead with 25 miles to go. Were you thinking, okay, I'm going to win this race?
This is the main point for me, I think, to learn from last year's experience, because the blowout was just major, I would say, maybe one of the biggest ones in my life. And like you said, at 25 miles to go, I was leading, but I never got this idea that it's over, that I'm actually like the winner, because I knew it's a long way to go, and I also knew that my body is just starting to struggle. So these last 20 miles was just really, really big suffer, and I was I was glad I made it to the finish line. So this race is very special. Like Alban said, it's the altitude, it's the length of the race, which is extreme. We usually don't do such long races. I mean, most of the marathons we do are around 4.5 hours maximum.
Right.
So, I think I have learned a lot. We're better prepared because, like we talked about before, we did the Breckenridge, which was a great preparation. We stayed a long time in Breckenridge, in the altitude. And also our team is stronger because we have one more rider here. We have Jeremiah Bishop, who is also a really strong guy, and he will be there and he will help us. So, like Alban said, the team win is important. The sub 6 hours is a huge challenge for not only for Alban but for all of us, and we will see what tomorrow brings.
So, what are Alban's strengths and weaknesses? He's not here. You don't have to you don't have to worry about him. He's not here.
But Todd Wells might be watching it, so I cannot say that. But there are not too many weaknesses that Alban has, and together I believe we are, like, I would say, we really can benefit from the tandem or from
working
trio we have here, and in the end, whoever is feeling better and whoever is stronger from us will just go for it.
Is it one of those things that as teammates during the early part of the race you might work together and work as a team, and then you get to a certain part of the race where it's every man for himself?
Yeah, definitely. I think this should be the case. I mean, we are here in this setup or whatever to be able to help each other, and like I said, towards the end, usually what I heard the previous years, the decision has been made always on the way back on the power line climb. So I think that might be again the decisive point, and there whoever will be just stronger, whoever will have more energy left in himself and more mental energy also will just win.
When both Alban and Sally have 2 wins apiece, what would it mean for you to win Leadville? Leadville now seems like a real major victory to have. How important is it for you to win this race?
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you would ask me 5 years ago what Leadville is, I would probably tell you that I have no idea. And now it's just becoming more and more known in Europe as well. And last year, to be honest, I was coming here with no really ambitions. I was thinking, okay, I will just try to do it. But then in the end, the race kind of like caught me, and the atmosphere of the race caught me, and I was just really into it, and I really wanted to win. So this year, I just want to go for my first win, and hopefully I will learn from the mistakes I did last year.
So Sally, when you won here, had you raced this before, or was that your first time here?
No, I raced the year before.
Sorry,
I won the year. I raced the year before, so it would have been 2012 was my first year.
And how'd you do?
We got sent off course.
Oh no!
So I lost. I went from first position to about sixth, I think,
Okay.
by the time I'd got back on course. And then I spent the time chasing back to second. But I think chasing took so much
Took it out of
energy
you.
out of me that I couldn't.
What
come
did you
back from that.
What did you learn from that race? Obviously, making sure that you get directed the right way. But in terms of training for this, did you train differently when you came back in 13?
No, I didn't train differently, but I came back with the knowledge of how the altitude affects me. I think the most important thing with this race is the pacing. I learned that by chasing that first year that
Yes.
I'd blown the doors off and
Yes.
there was nothing left in the tank for the finish. But most importantly, I learned a lot about the nutrition over a 7-hour race. It's if you get the nutrition wrong, then the game's over.
And when you came back and set the course record here, what did it mean not just to win the second time, but to set the course record, a record that still stands?
That was really special. I wasn't expecting it. My main goal was to win. Obviously, Rebecca Rush had the record prior to
Right.
that. So for me, I wasn't sure. She's such an experienced rider
Right.
over the longer distances. I wasn't sure whether I was able to beat her record or not. But my goal was to win, and then to cross the line and take the record was really special.
When you look at this particular race compared to the other races you personally do, do you feel that this is real? When you rode it for the first time, you feel this is a race I love. This is something that I really want to do, or are there other formats that are better for you in terms of mountain bike racing?
For me, this is really long. As Kristian said, normally my races are 3.5, 4, 5, 6 hours maximum. To go
Okay.
over the 6-hour mark for me is really hard.
Yeah.
And I don't train for it because the majority of my races are obviously
Yes.
between 3 and kind of 5 hours. So to train for a 7.5 hour race is
It's a different game.
Yeah, totally.
And this year, what type of preparation have you put in for this race?
Well, a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we did the Transalp, which is a 7-day stage race. So hopefully that's prepared me for the longer kind of stages. But yeah, I mean, we've just done the Breck Epic 3-day race, which I think was...
Up at altitude.
Yeah, I think that was really good for me to actually do some intensity and to race at altitude prior to coming to Leadville. The feeling was good there, and I think I've adjusted well to the altitude, so we'll see. But I mean, who knows? It could go one way or the other. The Breck
Right.
Epic could have killed my legs for tomorrow, or they could have made them stronger, so we'll see.
What do you know about the other gals in the race? I know Julie Dibbins is coming in from triathlon. There's different... What's nice about a race like this is you get road people, cyclocross people, a lot of different athletes come here from different disciplines. What do you know about the other gals?
Well, I think this year is going to be really competitive, which is going to make a really exciting race. I didn't know Julie was here, so that's pretty cool to know.
She just got into mountain biking, and she's been mountain biking for a long time. It's her first time here.
Okay. Along with her, then there's Annika Langevad, who is I think she's been world marathon champion 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
And also Katarina Nash, who I think is going to be well adjusted to the altitude because I believe she lives at Lake Tahoe, which is 2,000 meters or so.
Yeah.
So I think, it's going to be an interesting race. What's tricky for the women here is that because there are so many men, it can be difficult to lose sight of the women and to be able to control the race from that point of view. But
Yeah, you really don't see them, right?
no, yeah, you have
You have to put tabs on them early in the race to know where they are.
Yeah. And at the beginning, when things are a little chaotic, when you first come onto the first climb, then it can be difficult to know where your competitors are. So I think for the women, that's an added challenge to be racing amongst the men.
Love it. Thanks, you guys, for coming in. Appreciate you taking time. Again, this is Breakfast with Bob. My name is Bob Babbitt. We are ignited by Athlinks. We are at the Blueprint for Athletes Leadville 100 Mountain Bike Classic. Hold on, everyone. We will be right back.